As voices echo across the nation seeking action in response to this fast-moving overtake of our government by the decree of Donald Trump and at the hands of Elon Musk, well, the imperative question becomes, where are the Democratic voices of dissent? It turns out a big one showed up last night on Rachel Maddow and Congressman Jamie Raskin's vibrant assessment of the evolving coup and strategic government and public responses is so very important to hear, right now. I mean, keep in mind, Congressman Raskin appeared fresh off of this round one performance in front of the U.S. aid headquarters, commandeered by Comrade Musk. Now, wait until you see what he said just hours later with Rachel in our featured clip. It's coming up next.
Elon Musk. Elon Musk, you didn't create U.S. aid. The United States Congress did for the American people. And just like Elon Musk did not create U.S. aid, he doesn't have the power to destroy it. And who's going to stop him? We are. We're going to stop him.
In battle, timing is of the utmost importance, so let's get right to our imperative vital clip today as our most riled up political pugilist lays out the fight with Rachel Maddow last night on MSNBC.
It's great to see you, Rachel, and thank you for coming back in this service. You're a model to all America here.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. Can you describe your decision to go to USAID today? And actually, can you also describe what happened when you tried to go inside the building today?
Sure. Well, for me, it was easy, Rachel, because not only have I been trying to defend the Constitution and legality in America, as you know, for the last several years, but I have tens of thousands of federal workers who are my constituents in beautiful Montgomery County, Maryland. And what I see are all the telltale signs of a coup. A coup is a seizure of state power by unelected actors who work to take over the critical infrastructure of government outside of the rule of law. And that's what I see as going on right now. I mean, Elon Musk has basically tried to take control of the country's communications infrastructure, the governmental financial payments infrastructure, the data infrastructure, and he's got important parts of nodes of the military infrastructure. So I'm looking right through Donald Trump, who no doubt wants to abuse everybody's civil rights and civil liberties and centralize all the power in him. But at this point, you know, I'm with Steve Bannon and Laura Loomer and the people on the right who are saying, watch Elon Musk, because he's the guy who's trying to centralize all power behind him, and he hasn't been elected to anything.
When you say that, as you did today, and we played the clip of it, that we're going to stop Elon Musk, what do you see as the most effective means of opposition to that, the scale of what you're describing there?
Well, every democratic means available to us. Now, fortunately, because they think they're dictators, they're trampling the civil service law. I mean, the heart of civil service law is you can't fire people for political reasons. That's why we have a civil service, as you know, and yet they are being very open and explicit about their doing that. I mean, to the extent people are given any justification at all, it's that we don't think that you can successfully forward the agenda of President Trump, which is not an acceptable justification for firing people who haven't had a chance to even work for Donald Trump, right? These are professional, independent civil service members, Republicans, independents, Democrats. In any event, the vast majority of them have excellent civil service records, and you have to give them a due process administrative hearing and tell them specifically what are the charges against them. It's the same thing, by the way, with the inspectors general, 18 of whom were sacked en masse by Trump, when those people have the right to 30 days notice to Congress with a specific substantive elucidation of the charges against them. They've just run roughshod all over that. So we're going to start with civil service. We've got constitutional claims against them in a lot of places because the First Amendment stands for the same principle. You can't fire neutral, non-political officers like prosecutors, like FBI agents, like cops, simply because a new party comes to power and they think that they want to stuff it with their own political sycophants.
Congressman Raskin, if you don't mind, I'd like to hold you through a quick break. I want to ask you about people showing up in the streets, which we are starting to see now. We saw it a little bit today in Washington, where you were. We also starting to see it in cities around the country. There's something big planned for tomorrow. I want to talk to you about how that dovetails or doesn't with the kind of opposition that you're talking about. If you can stick with us for just one more moment. Today, protesters and Democratic senators and Democratic members of Congress showed up at the headquarters of USAID in Washington as the Trump administration is trying to illegally shutter that agency. Yesterday and last night in Los Angeles and Atlanta and several other cities around the country, we had big protests in support of immigrants and against what the Trump administration is trying to do with these mass arrests and roundups of immigrants. Tomorrow, we're expecting people to protest at the U.S. Treasury Building at 5 p.m. Eastern Time in Washington, D.C. Joining us once again is Congressman Jamie Raskin of Maryland, who was at USAID headquarters today. Congressman, you were talking about civil service law and lawsuits to try to protect civil servants being one of the fronts on which the opposition can proceed. What are you seeing as the other potential fronts on which the opposition can advance in very short notice?
Well, in Congress, of course, we're going to be fighting them in subcommittees and committees, on the floor, in the House, in the Senate, with filibusters at every turn. But popular protest is going to become very important here, and it's going to look very different from the first Trump administration. Everybody remembers, 1 million people gathering for the Women's March, and I have no doubt we could get at least that many, if not 5 million. But we also know that Donald Trump has just pardoned 1,500 Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, violent insurrectionists, cop assaulters. And so we don't want a huge protest like that to become a magnet for right-wing provocateurs and violence. Donald Trump would love nothing more than to send in the police and to, stage some kind of declare martial law or something in a situation like that. But I think the decentralized local protests around particular departments, particular agencies, in particular towns and cities are going to proliferate. And I got to tell you, it was thrilling and exhilarating to see hundreds of people show up on just a couple hours' notice that we were going to have a press conference outside of AID today. So there's tremendous popular fervor here, and that's giving everybody a lot of confidence and showing that we're not afraid of these people. They might be attempting a coup against America, but we're going to stop them, and we're going to use every means available to us.
Congressman Jamie Raskin, Democrat of Maryland, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for doing your part in the, as you say, sort of impromptu press conference come protest today at USAID. It's become a real focal point for a lot of people in terms of thinking about templates for moving forward and for speaking out. Thanks for being there, and thanks for talking to us about it tonight.
Decentralized local protests, that sounds great. We could even take it to the next level. How about this? Strategic flash mobs. That could keep them big clods on their heels. Hit and run. Our opponents are many things, but they are best at stomping, not dancing. I remember before any great pitch in the now Deadsville TV business that I worked in, my team and I, we'd watch this man to remind ourselves they can't hurt you if they can't hit you. Usually we won because we danced and we endured. Now the Democrats, they need in battle the spirit and endurance and speed of its greatest soulful son and its baddest man.
Why are you all looking so damn scared? Act like you're going to a funeral. I'm the one fighting. George Floyd. You didn't believe in all that stuff you've been reading about how hard he hits. George Floyd knocked down Joe Frazier. He destroyed the kid. The hell with George Floyd. When you get out here, if you're afraid, just smile. Just act like you're happy. I'm not gonna win the fight if I went out thinking like you. Damn George Floyd.